KYMA studios, covering Yuma in the Imperial Valley. This is KYMA News 11.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thousands of Haitians are flooding ports of entry along the southwest border seeking asylum. Tonight we take you on the journey to explore their reasons and how this is affecting our current immigration policies here in America. It's here in Mexicali that thousands of Haitian nationals have come to seek asylum into the United States. The majority, like 27-year-old Nadir Joseph, have come from Brazil. Joseph says many Haitians moved there after the 2010 Haiti earthquake, seeking work under the promise of Brazil's booming economy, with jobs around the 2014 World Cup and Olympics this past summer. But at some point, the economic boom slowed down and things dried up.
This is why
Nicolas Ariz says he decided to make the dangerous and expensive trek across South and Central America to the United States. Some migrants say they've paid a guide up to $5,000 for the trip. Many of the migrants catalog the same journey from Brazil, going through the jungle in Colombia to get to Panama, then on to Costa Rica, where they pay a guide $1,200 to smuggle them past government officials in Nicaragua, and on to Honduras, then Guatemala, where they finally enter Mexico through the small town of Tapachula, Chiapas, where they pretend to be Congolese nationals from fear of being deported. The Mexican government issues them a 20-day humanitarian permit so that they can legally cross the country and go to the border with America. According to the newspaper El Universal, from January 1st through October 4th, Mexican immigration officials released 14,471 humanitarian permits to Haitians and Africans in Tapachula, Chiapas. Reuters has also reported that in September, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director Sarah Saldana said 40,000 Haitians had left Brazil. Many of the migrants say they've come under the implied promise of a humanitarian parole, a policy in place since the 2010 earthquake when the U.S. government halted non-criminal deportations to Haiti. U.S. immigration officials say the trend started in May. Haitians first arrived to the Tijuana-San Diego border, but when resources became strained and wait times turned into weeks, the flow poured east to cities like Mexicali.
El 9 de septiembre recibimos el primer grupo de migrantes.
Mexican immigration officials who asked to remain anonymous say about 1,500 migrants are currently in Mexicali waiting to be processed into the U.S. Mexican and American immigration officials say they're working together. They've created a system to process the migrants, who must first report and register with Mexican authorities. Then they're assigned a number and wait for their turn to come up. American immigration officials then process the migrants based on this list. But the migrants never imagined the wait to take this long. Some, like Charlie Perlis, say they've been waiting in Mexicali for almost 2 months.
El punto principalmente de nosotros aquí somos unos niños que un padre lo tiene abandonado. Estamos buscando fuerza o refuerza hacia el padre de nosotros, que es Estados Unidos, porque el padre es el mayor del mundo.
And while the wait continues, resources are growing scarce. In Mexicali, migrant homes have filled up with the influx. At the Alpha and Omega home, the women now sleep inside, with about 120 staying here. The men have been relocated to an abandoned building where 370 now reside. Some have even set up camp on top of buildings. But in the midst of this, Haitian society has also blossomed alongside its Mexican host. In need of extra income, some migrants have started working. Others have opened up shops selling traditional Haitian food to other migrants. The migrants are also offered basic medical and dental care by the Mexican government. This woman says her son William was born just a month ago. But Pastor Javier, who helps the migrants, says more needs to be done.
Primero que necesitamos es que ellos pasen a donde van, a Estados Unidos.
It's here where the migrants long to be, at the front of the line, to be taken in by American immigration officials. But on the other side of the border, concern is growing among political and other leaders. Due to the influx, they question the ability and resources of U.S. immigration officials to adequately process everyone seeking asylum at the ports of entry. In October, Arizona Congressman Paul Gosar and other leaders visited the border when Haitians were reported arriving at the San Luis port of entry.
Several of the CBP officers were grateful for the congressman's visit because they felt like their resources had been exhausted. They're only able to feed them twice a day.
The Border Patrol Union, which represents agents nationwide, also questions the vetting process for the migrants.
They are being farmed out to Border Patrol stations for processing. We're seeing a lot of what we would term fraud. They're telling Mexican authorities that they're from one country, not claiming to be Haitian. And then we're seeing a lot of the same or similar type stories once they're talking to Border Patrol agents, so it makes us think that they could be working off of a script.
And at the heart of it all is a concern over America's immigration policies.
We think that under the Obama administration, illegal immigration has been rewarded, and that word has spread throughout the home countries of the people that are coming here. So we've seen it in South Texas, and now we're seeing it with Haitians.
Most are given court dates, some to report within 10 days, depending upon the family arrangement, and some being asked to report back in 3 to 5 years.
And while the uncertainty continues, this is the reality that many are living.
Porque la necesidad está. Y alguien lo tiene que hacer.
¿Por qué usted?
Me tocó.
Cristo Santo, muévete así, Señor, muévete aquí, oh Dios, muévete así.
The Department of Homeland Security announced yesterday that deportations of Haitian nationals are resuming after being temporarily suspended. The policy doesn't apply to Haitian nationals currently under temporary protected status.